Good morning. My name is Bob Gordon. I'm a dedicated member of this congregation. I don't think I have to tell you to take your seats. You already have. But remember to turn off your cell phones entirely and take this opportunity to greet each other on this beautiful day. Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We honor you wherever you are in your spiritual path and know that there is something wonderful here for each and every one of you this morning. I've been reading a book which is very interesting. It's called Whatever Arises, Love That. It's by an author named Matt Kahn, who is a very empathetic person ever since he was 8 years old, has apparently been able to sense what's going on with people, and since that time has talked to a lot of people about their problems and has become a fairly significant person in the field. Sort of the subtitle of the book is Groundbreaking Teachings on Engaging Love as the Most Potent Catalyst for Transformation and Healing. And I'd like to quote a portion of the book. What happens if I stop fighting the things that seem to fight with me? What happens if instead of trying to change the behavior of others, I become the first one to stop fighting, even if others still fight with me? What do you feel in your body when asking these questions? Even if there is a sensation of fear, the mere consideration of no longer fighting against the things that fight with you becomes another opportunity to release unconscious patterns just by loving the heart that feels so threatened. Perhaps your innocence believes that to stop fighting would result in being overpowered, hurt, or feeling unsafe. What if the circumstances of your life are not what are making you feel unsafe? What if it's your willingness to fight that causes you to feel so disempowered? Without a need to blame anyone for your experiences, what then happens to the sensation of fear? And that happens to be the subject also of Karyl's talk today, is love. We have Leslie Gianetti will give the morning prayer. And that's it, and thank you.
I send my love over the mountain. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens. Turns to me. I send my joy over the mountain. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens. Returns to me. Peace. I send my my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens. It returns. Power! I send my power. I send my power over the seas. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. Passion. I send my passion. I send my passion over the mountain. I send my passion. I send my passion over the seas. I send my passion into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. There is only love. There is only love. There's love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Please join me in affirmative prayer as I bring my mind and my full awareness to the one infinite life, the self-sufficient, self-existent life principle, both manifest and unmanifest, the first cause of absolutely everything, which consistently creates out of itself. It is the magnificent absolute, all in all perfection, moving upon itself across the past, the present, and future, all in one perfect moment, right now, omnipresent. And I know it is the power that beats my heart and breathes my breath. And as this is true for me, this is the absolute truth for each one here, that each one is an individualized expression of this one infinite life. Each one is an integral part of the mind and the heart and the breath of the first cause, the life principle. And I speak my word for each one, and I claim a greater receptivity to this one infinite life, this one infinite love. This love which is free from fear, free from condemnation, which seeks to express itself by means of each one. Love fulfills itself by means of each human individual, by means of all creation. Love is the one and only power whose sweep is irresistible and undeniable in and through all creation. And each one here is a vessel for the greatest love ever known, the fullest life experience, which is their divine inheritance. And I claim this realization for everyone. I claim this realization for each and every individual. Realization, the revelation of truth, the truth of being. And I celebrate this truth in and through each one, the truth which ignites each one to their greatest expression. And I give my profound thanksgiving for the opening that takes place in consciousness in and through each one right now, which makes way for a demonstration of this one and only presence and power of love. I release my word to the law of mind, which operates on my word as a new creation, ready in this moment to be embodied, experienced, now and eternally, and so it is.
There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets you free. There is only love.
Would you please welcome Mr. Scott Grace?
Thank you. This poem is dedicated to anybody who might have felt a homeopathic dose of fear this week in relation to whatever has been going on. And the end of this poem is about the end of fear. So we're going on a journey, and we're going from fear to love. Gather, my friends, 'cause the end times are near. Not the end of the world, but the end of your fear. So turn down the lights, make it dark now, I dare ya. Stick around for a while and I'm gonna unscare ya. Now, when you were young and most things were quite swell, fear knocked on your door with a product to sell. And like most good salesmen, he cast quite a spell while selling insurance called All Is Not Well. Now, All Is Not Well came in its own case, the case that there's danger all over the place. And after you bought it, your All Is Not Well, you felt it your duty to share and to tell. And so, mouth to mouth was how fear procreated with no YouTube or Facebook to disseminate it. Fear soon went viral all over the globe, using old-time religion to dispense and promote. Because fear knew the way to get globally big was to drive a false wedge between God and his kids. And that's how he came to be so domineering, by replacing God loving with, you must be God fearing. Then fear and religion began co-creating and cooked up a symbol of fear they called as if infinite love had a worthy opponent with pitchfork in hand who could pounce any moment. The concept was great for maintaining control, making people behave as if they're on parole. Because when God-fearing people are scared for their souls, they put much more silver and gold in the bowls. So business was booming and fear kept on spreading, and fear loved the credit the devil was getting. Because fear itself likes to stay hidden from view and play hide and seek in its host, which is you. I'm not afraid, I'm just angry, it shouts. I've been mistreated and need to speak out. I'm not afraid, I'm upset and I'm caring. There's so many disguises that fear enjoys wearing. He's proud of his wardrobe because he designed it. Though he wouldn't admit it, fear's quite clothes-minded. So he doesn't realize he's often dressed funny, wearing layers of worry, looking like a stressed bunny. And when you're not looking, he dresses you too in stress bunny outfits that don't become you. Because when you wear worry, it wears tight and stiff. From statically clinging to imagined what-ifs, worst-case scenarios fill your projector. Then fear says, don't worry, I'll be your protector. He shows you his life insurance policy and says, here's what you get when you sign up with me. You get top-notch around-the-clock security, an armored alarm system on your body, and if you're harassed, I'm your personal bouncer. And for making decisions, I'll be your guidance counselor. No more will I let you take risks that could hurt you. Just stick with me, kid. I will never desert you. Now all of your loved ones have already signed. Don't be a black sheep. Join the flock. You'll be fine. So you signed up and breathed a big sigh of relief because you thought you'd feel safer with fear as your chief. But the contract had fine print too fine to be seen, and you didn't read the clause that denied you your dreams. From then on, heart's desires that came to be birthed were blocked by your fears before they could reach earth. It seemed your new policy's whole life protection was more birth controlling than most contraception. How could you give birth to a life more abundant with fear in your ear like a cable news pundit who's yelling, I'm telling the truth, fair and balanced, while drowning out most of your love, gifts, and talents? Now fear says, get real. That's his bottom line thing. And fear learned what's real from his friend Stephen King, whose collection of books make outstanding addictions as long as you realize you are reading. Which is what you can do with your own fear collection. Just transfer them all to your mind's fiction section. Because no matter how gripping a tale fear can tell, its original premise that all is not well is a bit topsy-turvy in this universe and deserves to be laughed off the face of the earth. And when you are laughing, you let in the light, which makes fear pack his bags and get on the next flight. Because he needs to feel needed, and when you choose joy, well then fear has no choice but to be unemployed. He used to feel needed when lions were chasing you, gathering speed with intentions of tasting you. But nowadays, the lions we find are fictional cats roaming around in our minds. And when you stop feeding the cats in your head, they just go away because they're not getting fed. And with a clear head, you are free now to choose a channel that's broadcasting much better news. So you get off your couch and turn off the TV and tune into WLOVE. It's got no commercials and nothing to sell, just a steady reminder that all is quite well. And all is quite well is insurance enough. You're already covered by a plan you can trust. You've got Universal, the original plan. And there's never a moment you're not in good hands. You're no longer buying fear's insurance scam, because you know every moment you're in good hands. Thank you.
That was brilliant. And actually, I'm just going to tell you all that again. That's exactly, and we did not rehearse this. This is wonderful. Well, good morning and welcome, you sweethearts. I'm Rev Karyl Huntley. I'm so glad to see you here. And there are a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time in the crowd today, so welcome especially. And then very especially, people who are here for the first time. We have people here for our membership team, and they have a little packet for you. And in the packet is a blue card. And if you fill out the blue card, which puts you in our database, you get a free book if you give that card back to them. And this book is How to Speak Science of Mind, and it's a very simple rendition of our philosophy that you can take and change your life for the better. Is there anybody here for the first time so we can welcome you and give you this gift? Well, we're all family. So welcome once again, everyone. And so our theme for the whole year is about divine, sacred, spiritual values, life based on spiritual values. And what we want, of course, is not to just think about these values, but to make a commitment to living through them, and then to make our decisions about what we do based on the values. So now that we are in the last quarter of this year and this theme, I just wanted to ask you, how many have changed something in your life for the better this year based on the values theme? You can identify that and say, "This, yes, this is different." Yes? Yes, excellent. That's exactly what we need to do. So I wasn't here last week, and so I'm going to show you where I was. I was at this is the Ministers' Council for all of the ministers of Centers for Spiritual Living, the secretary of this wonderful organization. This is me. This is Linda Rapond. Many of us know Linda Rapond. This is Andriette Earl. She has a community across the bay. This is John Waterhouse, the field officer, and he was here not too long ago. And this is the whole team. We are at his center in Asheville, North Carolina. This is his altar and where everybody speaks. And this was a 4-day conference supporting the ministers of Centers for Spiritual Living. And it was pretty amazing. We had a wonderful program. Everybody appreciated it very much, and we even got to do a fire walk. So that was, whenever you think you can't do something and then you walk on 1,200 degree coals, it's like, well, if I can do that, I can do anything. So that's where I was. I missed you, but I was doing good work. So this is the October theme that we are in the midst of now, love that is life-changing. And if we loved instead of feared, just like in that wonderful poem, is that on YouTube?
I have a DVD of it available on my table.
Ah-ha-ha, wonderful. So love is life-changing when we let go of fear and move to love. I want to draw your attention to this wonderful altar about love right now. This is the Cooper altar, Gaelen and Mark Cooper, and all these things have to do with love. There's Mickey and Minnie. The love over there is made out of little flowers, and there's pistachios all over the altar, which you can eat. And so I said to Mark, are pistachios, are they a symbol of love? And he said, well, no, they're a symbol of yumminess. And so I kind of counted that as the same thing, actually. So wonderful altar. Thank you very much. So our theme this month is love that is life-changing. And actually, love is always life-changing. Sometimes it's so life-changing that we can't keep up. I also think that love is kind of it's such an all-purpose word that we sometimes lose track of its absolute magnificence and power in the working of our life. When we can say, I love pesto, I love Hawaii, and I love you, and it's the same word, it kind of has lots and lots of varied meanings. And it's also combined with so many emotions. Just like fear is combined with so many emotions, love can be combined with hope, or jealousy, or joy, or grief, or gratitude, or wonder, as in this photograph, and so much more. We're going to talk about as true a love as I can describe today, the love that comes from the infinite presence. And today is about how to let that kind of love, the love of God, the love that God has for its creation, to change our lives in the way that our own soul is directing us to change. Because, we came here for doing something. We came to earth to do something. And if we're not doing it, then love felt like maybe something else is pushing us to do that. And whatever our path, it's different for everyone, but we all have one, and we all have stuff to do. That's why we incarnated. So the other similarity about love, love directs our soul to do its work, but the other similarity about love for all of us is that if we let love grow us, if we surrender into love, if we let go of fear and surrender into love, we step into some scary places. It's interesting, we say we're going to give up fear and we step into love, and then the next thing we're doing is we're kind of afraid again. Because what happens is that love places us in a situation that we are unfamiliar with. And it's a human thing to be uncomfortable in a situation that we're not familiar with, but it's so essential to grow, because what happens if we pay attention and love what comes up? What is the title of that book, Bob? Love what? Whatever arises, love that. So if you're in a, I love the way this all comes together. If you are in a situation where you're uncomfortable, love that, because it's given to you as a gift, and that's how we grow. So the title of the talk today is Being Brave with Love, because that's what we're asked to do when we step into unfamiliar places. And it's letting love have its way with you, to literally let love pick you up and put you places so that you can grow into the person that you took birth to become. In order to do that, we have to get to this surrendered place where we love no matter what, where we are open, we are willing to be intimate. And that, by that I mean just showing ourselves all of those foibles and those places that, not are as attractive as the other places, but just showing them anyway. I'm going to read to you, this is front matter from Undefended Love. Intimacy, direct, unmediated, heart-to-heart connection with ourselves and with others can occur only when the heart is undefended. To cut through our personal differences, to reach the unveiled part of ourselves that is deep enough to express the most profound and untamed aspects of our being, means learning how to love and be loved without defenses and without obstructions. Take a breath. It means cultivating the capacity to be emotionally present even when we feel exposed or vulnerable. Learning to relinquish the many strategies we have employed to feel safe and in control, which parenthetically I'm putting in never work, and finding the courage to love without guarantees or requirements. Through developing the capacity for intimacy in this way, we discover love as an abiding presence in the emotional center of our being, our heart, and we can never again feel emotionally disconnected, incomplete, or unloved. So the values that we are going to look at today are these. First of all, courage. Yep, there it is. Finding the courage to love without guarantees or requirements. Next, presence. We discover love as an abiding presence in the emotional center of our being. And finally, love. We can never again feel emotionally disconnected, incomplete, or unloved. So this is that experience of love that is non-resistant and non-controlling. So I want to show you a picture of how this looks. This is unconditional, undefended love. It is the pure feeling of well-being. So let's look at this. Both of these people don't need to look at anything. Both of these people, both these sweet beings. Yeah, the fur person and the other person. So they don't need to look at anything. Their eyes are closed. They have a smile on their faces. They don't need to listen to anything. They are living in their hearts. This is pure, undefended well-being, connection, oneness, joy, and peace. This does not require bravery. This kind of love does not require bravery. And dogs are just such an example of this, because they're so appreciative, they're so undemanding, they are infinitely generous, they're always in the present moment, and this it doesn't require our bravery, it only requires our participation. The only time that love like this requires bravery is when we think we might lose our companion. This then becomes a key to why love is scary. Because when we open ourselves with that undefended, surrendered love, what comes up for a lot of us, I think, for me, is that I might lose this love. And love might go away. Or the love that I give might not be reciprocated. Or I may pour all of my love into this person or this situation or this community, and then it's like a black hole because I don't get enough back, and I'm afraid that I'll give and give and give and give and then be left with nothing. Does this sound familiar or feel familiar to anybody? Yeah. If this is not your lesson, just sit in meditation and love the rest of us, okay? So, what I just described is really a misconception about love. And we're going to talk about the 3 misconceptions. And it all has to do with impossibility. Impossibility. We can't empty ourselves. We can't do that. We can't, that feeling of if I love and love and love, I'll just be a shell. I'll just be empty. There won't be anything of me left. That's impossible. And the analogy that I'm going to use is breathing. We can't stop breathing by ourselves. If you just say, I am going to hold my breath and not breathe again, your body will take the breath. I don't know if you could will yourself to pass out from not breathing, but then your body would take the breath because it is natural to fill back up with air. And that's exactly the same with love. Our heart is the same. It's the natural way we are made. We fill up with love and joy and peace instantly when we stop agonizing. We can feel terrible. And I know that we all probably felt terrible this week. Very terrible, based on what happened in Las Vegas. And then we agonize over that, and then we see a sunset, or we see the face of someone that we love. We feel warm again when we're cold. We hear a bird. And love just starts pumping in our heart again. It's just like the breath. Now, we can pretend that we are in agony for a long, long time. We can try to empty ourselves, but it never works in the long run. This is something that Mother Teresa said. There is a light in this world, a healing spirit, more powerful than any darkness we may encounter. We sometimes lose sight of this force when there is suffering, too much pain. Then suddenly, the Spirit will emerge through the lives of ordinary people who hear a call and answer in extraordinary ways. Let that be us. We cannot stay in the forgetting of love forever. We can't. We might be able to stay in the forgetting of love until we take that last breath, and by golly, I bet, with all that is within me, that at that last breath the light comes in, and love. So as horrible as we felt and feel about the tragedy in Las Vegas, love has not diminished in the world. Next, we can't acquire love. We can't go out to the mall and get some, like designer coffee. There's no place that we can go to get love because love is the universal energy of God. We are made of it. Everyone is. And looking for love on the outside of us is, you've probably heard this analogy of, it's like a fish looking for water. You know, we're in it. We're in this love. Love is right here. And it takes bravery sometimes to feel it and to see it. But I'm telling you, and we all know it's true, if we simply turn from that agonizing place where we're afraid or we're empty or we're looking for love in all the wrong places and just know, well, I'm going to breathe the next breath, and that is love. That's the truth of our being. And finally, we can't lose ourselves. We cannot give ourselves so completely to someone else or to something else that there is nothing left. We can't do that. We aren't separate entities on our own. We exist within God, and God is love. We are a part of the water. We're a fish in the water. We're a person in God. We are a center of divine consciousness in a sea of divine consciousness. So I want to read to you something about buoyancy. It feels the same thing to me as the idea of being in God, but we have to kind of realize it and kind of lean into it, especially if we've been leaning away. Anyone who has learned to walk, talk, float, or to ride a bike has had the realization of oneness. And so to move into the extended analogy of floating, anyone who has learned to float can recognize the primacy of consciousness in floating. Letting go is not enough. It is not enough to spread your arms and legs out rigidly or to relax limply. When you float, you consciously feel after buoyancy. This is not just physical. It involves awareness. Attention has to be paid. Once we learn to float, if we ever lose our oneness with buoyancy, we notice and immediately seek to recover it. So what that means is that when we have felt our oneness with God, when we have felt that and we lose it, all we need to do is seek after it again, and it's instantly there. Because it is a principle of the universe, just like floating is a principle of physics, that's physics, and us being one in God is metaphysics. So we can think we're not buoyant, but if we've ever floated, if we've ever sought after that buoyancy and experienced it, then that's a remembrance that we can let go into God just like we let go into the water. And I've talked to enough 12-step people who get to the bottom of their misery in life, and what do they find there when they surrender is God, is love. That's what they find. So we can pretend to have to find love, to keep love, to protect against someone taking our love, but it's a story we tell ourselves. And being brave with love means that we can feel this fear, especially if it's an old fear, especially if that's what we learned in childhood, and opening anyway. Feeling that and opening anyway. So that's what love isn't. So now we're going to talk about what love is. Love is who we are. In Science of Mind, we say that love is the self-givingness of God, making itself into things, into us. Love is the clay of which we are made. We are never separate. We can't. There's nothing else to be made out of except God, and God is love. So we are made of love. That's who we are. And not only this is true for us, it is true for everyone. That's where the practice is. Sometimes the practice is in knowing that we ourselves are loved. Sometimes the practice is knowing other people are loved. And when we have a tragedy like we've had in Las Vegas, if we can just say, one of us forgot who we are. One of us forgot who we are. We cannot afford to withhold our love and our consciousness of oneness for anyone. We cannot afford that. It's easy to say, well, I'm not that kind of person, I would never do that. And we can pretend to hate, and we can be enraged for so long. We can hate and be enraged for so long that it feels real. But we cannot get away from each other and the unifying force of love. And I'm reminded at a time like this of Mother Teresa when she said, "There goes another child of God in such an interesting disguise." So love is the connecting force of the universe. In the Science of Mind textbook, it says this: love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is an essence, an atmosphere which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love, and love is God. So that is the connecting force of the universe. And trying to protect ourselves against this all-pervasive love that is everywhere is really like self-drowning. We try to be separate, but we can't. It just loops itself back around us. So at this point, I want to share some things about our beloved Ed Dudkowski, because I can't say that I've never felt the power of love as much as I felt it in the moments before he took his last breath. But the room was absolutely radiant with love. And he was radiant with love. The last conversation that I had with him was 2 weeks ago tonight. I went over and we had a wonderful conversation. He was going to go for therapy on Monday and on Tuesday, radiation therapy in his brain. And we were talking about how he didn't have anything to regret. We were talking about how he had communicated everything that he needed to communicate to everyone. We were talking about he had accomplished what he wanted to accomplish in life. And then he said, well, the computer that does the streaming has a problem. That's a loose end. 40 hours before he took his last breath, he was loving us. And so on the day that he passed, Tuesday, in the morning, he was going to go for another, he was going to get dressed and go down the peninsula and have another therapy. And he said, no, I'm done. Call my daughter, I'm done. 5 hours later, he had left his body. And I have never known anyone so complete so fast and so content. It was an amazing, amazing gift to be in the presence of that love. Next, love is forever generating from our center. Hafez, the subject tonight is love. This is a poem called In a Treehouse. Light will someday split you open, even if your life is now a cage. For a divine seed, the crown of destiny is hidden and sown on an ancient fertile plain you hold the title to. Love will surely bust you wide open into an unfettered, blooming new galaxy, even if your mind is now a spoiled mule. A life-giving radiance will come. The friend's gratuity will come. Oh, look again within yourself, for I know you were once the elegant host to all the marvels in creation. From a sacred crevice in your body, a bow rises each night and shoots your soul into God. Behold the beautiful drunk singing one from the lunar vantage point of love. He is conducting the affairs of the whole universe while throwing wild parties in a treehouse on a limb in your heart. Finally, love is the activity of the generosity of spirit. God cannot help giving. God cannot stop giving. God cannot stop loving. The nature of the infinite one is that. And there is no reluctance in God. God just gives and loves and gives and loves, gives and loves, and we are made in that image. And for us to hold out and be in agony and look for the bad and praise that takes so much energy, because it's not who we are. It is not who we are. We are the radiant one like God is, made in the image of that. So no matter what in your life, no matter what, just take a breath and make yourself available to love. That divine love is what you are. You are a fish in the water. You are a love bug in the love of God. And that is who you are. So in conclusion, this image of love that is life-changing. So this looks like it isn't going to work. It looks like here's fire, here's water, and of what we might know of the physical realm is these can't exist together, and it's either going to be lukewarm water or it's going to be cool steam or something. But what if right here something brand new is happening? And no matter what is going on in our life, if we are that force for love, it can change our life and change life on earth. And I'll tell you that we all are going to need to do this. Or enough of us are going to need to do this to change life on earth. And now is the time. So, to conclude, here are the reprise of the values. Be of good courage. You can't go anywhere but another place in love. You are truly who you are, the very presence of love, and that will never change. Whatever you know of love to be now, work with that and take it to the next level. I would love it now if the practitioners would surround the room for the closing prayer. So this is a container of love. These beloved holy ones know how to be love in action. So let their beaming nature just make a pool of love in the center of this room as we go into prayer, that inner beautiful place. And as much as we possibly can, in our heart of hearts, in the heart of God within us, be in that experience of love, the pure love of God, the unconditional, opened place, the vulnerable, uncontrolling place of just hanging out in love. And let an image of someone or something, or maybe that doggy in the first slide, to come into your mind, something that is easy to love. And feel how easy it is to just wrap your metaphysical arms around that and take it into the heart of you. No separation. And now, just for this exercise, picture something that is really hard to love. And in this moment when we've been rolling around in God's divine energy, in this moment it's easy to wrap your arms around that one and bring it in. It's just an expression of God in an interesting disguise. And you can see through the disguise and bring it into your heart. And then considering yourself and all the things that you have liked about yourself and not liked about yourself. It's none of your business, really. You're just here to love that self that God created. So wrap those loving arms around you. And include now something scary. Include now something you have resisted. Include now something that you have even said the word hate in association with. And just let that open heart welcome everything. Just a big old column of a line, a queue of people, things, circumstances marching into your heart of love to be transformed. This is being brave with love. And we know how to do it now. And so it is.
It takes bravery to breathe the breath of love. It takes going out on a limb. You can't hide in your comfort zone if you want to learn to let love in. It's as blessed to receive as to give. There's no division between the two. And when you're willing to reach out with love, we discover what is true. That there is no love shortage, just a lush rainforest. If you're thirsty, then it's up to me to step out of my comfort zone and open to humanity. There's no love shortage, just a lush rainforest. If I'm thirsty, then it's up to me to step out of my comfort zone and open to my bravery, open to my vulnerability, open to humanity. 'Cause you're a fish on the water in divine order. There's no shoulds, have-tos, or ought-tos. Be of good courage. Celebrate your presence, because love is our essence. There's no search to find it somewhere on earth. It's in the mirror. It delivers you from lonely times when you see love in the mirror.
Recently, we had butcher paper at the back of the room, and I asked each of you to put down one word that described Golden Gate Center. And this is a word cloud behind me that shows what some of those words were. Of course, love was a big one. Family, community, healing, growth, possibilities, inclusive, inspire. Pretty good, huh? We're grateful for your presence here in this community and for what each of you is doing to create this environment for the community. We're also grateful for your generous financial contributions that make this community possible. Like they say on public radio, your donations make these programs possible. But unlike public radio, we don't have foundations or corporations that support us. It's all you and me and everyone else who puts money in the baskets on Sunday, who pledges through credit cards or payments from automatic from their checking account. It takes a village to run this community. And the money that you give goes to pay the rent for this facility every Sunday, pay to Corte Madera, for the office, for all our utilities, for the production of the program that's in your hand at the moment, for Rev Karyl's salary, for our wonderful music, all of those things. And the board needs to know how much we're going to have for our budget for this year. And it helps if we know in advance how much. I know some people don't know what's going to come into your personal life every year, so it's hard to plan your budget. So you may know how it's hard for the community to plan the budget and know what programs we can offer without knowing what's going to be coming in. So there's a pledge card at the back. If you would like to pledge and let us know what you intend to give to us, we'd be grateful for that. And now, would the ushers come forward to accept your contributions for today? And I invite you to hold your contributions to your heart and bless them and bless this community.
I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love to the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. Please join me in saying,
This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that wherever it goes is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. So it is.
Hey, we have a few announcements. First of all, I want to be grateful for all of the people that put this service together. You know, this is a recreation room where they do exercise and bingo and things like that, other than on Sunday morning. And so we create this for you every Sunday. So the setup team, head by Ceci and Jim, I want to thank. And I want to thank the prosperity team for manning the pledge table in the back there. I'm pointing to it right there, so thank you. I want to thank Dana for doing sound today. And the video, Ron was working on camera and David helped set it up. The streaming was Tom this morning. The PowerPoint, Ceci. We have our wonderful practitioners ready to pray your life into a miracle. And we have the Coopers who did the wonderful altar. Scott, Grace, and Bodie on our music team today. Our Sunday team was headed up by Ellen Nicosia today, and we always honor the youth and family that are ready at any moment to teach children when they show up. So that's that. And then I get to say a little something about our pledge program, the Pathway to Abundance. For those of you who don't think about this very much, in Marin, it is common for every spiritual community to require about $50 per person per Sunday in order to run the whole organization. And that's basically where we get our money, is on Sunday. So that means that for sustaining members, it's about $200 a month. Now, if that is shocking to you, that's the truth. And I want to put it in a little bit of perspective for you that probably you spend more than $200 a month on food each month, and this is food for your soul. And so it is at least equally as important. And so the members that have pledged over and over and over, years and years, kind of think that $50 a week is not enough even, you know, that they pledge more than that. So if you can think of doing that and essentially paying for your seat, do that. And if you can't, we absolutely love and adore you and are so grateful for the generosity of your heart in whatever money you give and whatever service you give. And just by being here, your darling selves is a gift to everyone else. And so we also thank those people who are paying for more than one seat. So that's just something to think about, and know that the pledge awaits your declaration. And we really, really appreciate it in order to plan, like Sarah said. Sarah is doing the Extra Edge this Thursday at El Fornillo, and her topic is following what is charming for you. Isn't that sweet and dear? And this is coffee and conversation that applies principle to your life and to your business. These are the fall classes that are coming up. Mine starts this Thursday. I'm very excited about it. And it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be about creating peace in our hearts and being a little huge, bright light of peace for the world. This next thing is so wonderful. This is the Science of Earnest Mind debut film that is the love child of our own Sue Ruda. And this is going to be on October 28th at Tri-City Religious Center in Newark, California, where the gentleman who plays Ernest Holmes is the senior minister, and a lot of us are going to be there. This is a gift that Sue is giving the entire movement. And this film comes with a media kit so that any center that doesn't know how to do events with excellence knows how to do events with excellence when they buy this kit. It it started with just an idea that Sue talked to me about and talked to Lloyd about, and then she brought in everybody that she needed. A lot of the cast is from our community. And Ed Dudkowski became the first videographer of the project, and because of Sue's sweet, generous heart, she is dedicating this entire project now to Ed Dudkowski. There is a letter in the back on the activities table that gives the history of this beautiful project, and there is a sign-up sheet for October 28th, because we are hoping that we can carpool down to the South Bay. So that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event for all of us. The Knitting Circle is re-establishing itself this Thursday. It starts at 3:30, so anybody that has some handwork to do, just join us, and we have a knitting circle, and it's so, so fun. And if you want to have a chicken sweater, you can make a chicken sweater. The Sunday snack planning team is operating. If you have ideas about how to ensure healthy snacks for all of us on Sundays, the team is Corrine, Steve, and Paula. And Steve's right there, and Corrine is part of the Sunday team today. She's in the kitchen. Libra birthdays are this time of year, and so if you are a Libra child and would like a gift from your community, if you're a member, this is an advantage of membership, you come over here to the practitioner table and you take one of those spiritual checkup forms and you write down what is going on in your life, you turn it over and call any of those practitioners, and you get a free practitioner session for your birthday, which there's nothing better for your birthday. The Community Outreach Interest Group is now forming. This is another brainchild of Steve Einhaus, and we are going to partner with nonprofits in Marin for the benefit of our community and for the nonprofits. There is a sign-up sheet in the back, and we're going to get that going. Then this is the time also to sign up to volunteer for REST, the Rotating Emergency Service Team, for providing meals for homeless men in Marin through the winter. And we are a part of that team, as many spiritual communities are in Marin. And there's a sign-up sheet in the back for that. And the Sunday teams are requiring some new folks. This is a great place to serve because you only serve usually one Sunday a month. You work in a team, you get to know those people, and you help us create the spiritual community on your Sunday morning. And so there's a sign-up sheet in the back for that. And also, the youth and family part of our organization could use some new people as well. And Deborah Irwin is going to be at a table over here in this little section back here to talk to you if you would be interested in talking to her about what is entailed in serving the youth and family. This is an interesting one. Somehow or other, our post box got closed. The post office said, well, they don't need that anymore, and made that decision. And at least one check was mailed back. Thank goodness it was to Lloyd Tupper, and he called us up and said, you don't want my money anymore? And so if you had a check returned, that was the reason. It is now reopened, and we would like that check back. So that's all done now. And finally, our beloved Ed Dudkowski has his memorial service planned right here, Saturday, November 25th at 2 p.m. So, and that is the end of the announcements. And I just want to bless all of you sweet people as we begin to end this service and go on our way. May you be brave in love, and may Spirit, as always, guide your way. Please stand now for our affirmation and closing song. Right up here, read this with me if you would. I shed all protection against love. I open and open more to let the love of God pour through me into the world. I remain undefended, vulnerable, and available for love to change my life and for me to change life on earth. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today.
Joy.
I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of joy right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today.
Oh yeah.
Love.
I'm choosing love today.